Well, we've got an expanding field for the Republican nominee. I think we're up to about 10 candidates now. I'm going to go through a list and give each of these candidates their official percent chance they have right now of winning the Republican nominee and facing Joe Biden if he makes it that long, or maybe Kamala Harris, or maybe they'll throw in someone like Gavin Newsom. But let's start with the lowest percent chance, and it is Christie, the big fella, announcing just yesterday that he was joining the race. I did a video on him. He's an impressive dude, I agree, but yeah, he has basically no chance. I gave him a 0.00001%. The situation with him, he's totally anti-Trump, and he just wants to get on the debate stage in August and annoy Trump, which would be funny. The question is, can he get there? I think you need like 50,000 unique donors and then 1% in terms of polling. I don't think he's there in terms of polling. I'm not sure he's polling at 1%, but I know there are a lot of Democrats that have kind of latched on to Christie because he keeps criticizing Trump. It's kind of strange, but it would be funny to see him at the debates. He would probably be on the end if he did get to 1%. Maybe some of the Democrats will start participating in polls for the Republicans to push Christie on the debate stage in August. But there is also the thought that Trump might not even do the debates. I think Trump will. But yeah, so Christie, basically no chance. Larry Elder, I gave him a 0.0001% chance. So basically none as well. You know, the Gavin Newsom situation, the recall, that's kind of what he's known for. He's a good dude. It would be good to see him on the stage. I'm not sure if he's going to make it, mainly because of the qualifications for it in terms of the amount of donors you need. I'm not even sure if Larry Elder is officially running, but he is appearing in polls. Next, it is Mike Pence. So Mike Pence, I put at a 0.001% chance. It's just not going to happen. I mean, if Mike Pence was running and it was 2007 and he was going up against John McCain, maybe you would have a chance. It's just so different. The Republican Party now in 2023 is completely Mike Pence, those type of candidates that are conservative, they're just not going to have a chance. And I have to say, I agree with it. The main issue that Mike Pence would run into now in the digital age in 2023, he would just get completely trampled by the media. You know, even with Elon taking over Twitter, you're still talking about all of the mainstream media, basically outside of Fox News, being pretty far to the left and pretty biased. And you have to call that stuff out and really push back against it. That's like where the whole Trump fake news narrative came from, because all the news was against him, so he started calling it fake news. And then, of course, they got triggered. It's just like when you're on a playground and you punch the bully. Well, the bully doesn't know what to do then. CNN, MSNBC, they didn't know what to do because they had done the bullying. Trump punched back, and they got angry about it. So Mike Pence, he rode up on a motorcycle. It's great. It's very inspiring. He gave a little speech. The big problem with Mike Pence yesterday, he filed for president, or this was 2 days ago, and it was the same day that Apple released their VR thing. And I mean, they just dominated the headlines. I don't think really anyone even knows Mike Pence is running. And then the elephant in the room, the January 6th incident. I mean, come on. You know, is he going to be on? Are we going to bring that up on the debate stage with Mike Pence and Trump? I would love to see something like that happen. But yeah, Mike Pence, because he's alienated himself against Trump, you know, after the January 6th event, he's basically got no chance of winning. And he might not even be, he should get at least 1% in the polls. I think he's like 3 or 4% right now in the average. I don't know if he's going to get the donors to get on the stage. He might, but we'll have to see. Next, it is Glenn Youngkin. So I give him, I'm not even sure he's running. He did have a very impressive victory in Virginia. I'm going to give him like a 0.001 as well, just because honestly, I'm not even sure he's running. If he does, he does have a really good approval rating in a purple state, and that was a crazy impressive victory that no one saw coming. But this is just speculation right now. Like, there's no way I'd be able to give him a high percentage at this point based on how the polls are looking. I will say he does have potential. If he is a good talker with his approval rating, he does have potential maybe in 2028. Nikki Haley, I'm going to say 2% chance. It really seems like a Republican woman, that type of window, it came and went in 2012. Sarah Palin almost did it. It just feels like that's not going to happen. Nikki Haley kind of comes off a little bland. Your typical conservative. There's nothing bad about her. I'm sure she might be a top choice for a vice president role if DeSantis wins, if Trump wins too, maybe if they want to balance the ticket with a woman. In terms of winning the nominee, it's a massive uphill battle for her. I do think you could get some people that are anti-Trump voting for her, which is going to really hurt DeSantis. So it'll be interesting to see how long she'll stay in the race and siphon votes off of DeSantis, or if they'll all come together and say, we need to not let Trump win. It's kind of like the Democrats in 2020 with Bernie Sanders. And that's how Biden became their nominee. So is that what's going to happen with the Republicans? Because let me just tell you, the people that are voting for Nikki Haley, if she drops out, they're not going to switch their vote to Trump. They'll more than likely switch it to DeSantis. Next, it is Vivek Ramaswamy. I'm giving him a 3% chance. It's just so tough for Ramaswamy with him being 37, too young. I really do like him. He's extremely smart. I would say in terms of political debate, he's the smartest candidate, right or left, going into the debates. A lot of people don't even know who he is, but he is very impressive in terms of his knowledge and the way he can formulate opinions. He has said some stuff that's, some people don't like it on the right, but I do think, his argument recently about the situation in Ukraine and really just being nuanced about it, that's the one thing that a lot of these Democrats, they act like 13-year-old girls on their period. It's just like, support Ukraine no matter what. Well, it's not that simple. We have leverage over Russia right now. Why would we not try and negotiate peace with Russia? Give them a few Ukraine regions in the east, and let's not alienate Russia against the United States, which would very likely enable Russia to turn to China and have them form a deep relationship. It makes complete sense. If you're China and Russia and you look at the United States spending like an absurd amount on military, wouldn't it make sense to create an airtight alliance? I don't know. So it's just like, you don't want to alienate Russia against you, but it seems like people are obsessed with doing that. No, that is not a good strategy. Right now, you've got leverage. Why would you be worried about Russia taking over more parts of Europe? They can't even take over Ukraine. While we have leverage over them, let's negotiate peace. Let's let them have a few regions in the east, which are already mainly Russian anyways, and let's not alienate them against them. But no, you can't do any of that. If you say that you're a Russian agent and you support Russia, because I guess we can't be nuanced with our political strategy and our war strategy. No, you can't be nuanced. We just have to throw billions of dollars to Ukraine, not allow Russia to take an inch. And you know what? In a perfect world, absolutely, I wouldn't want Russia taking an inch, but it's not a perfect world. It's not. You have to compromise. That's a very key element to being the president. So I like Ramaswamy. I really think he's a good talker, and he's going to perform well at the debates, but I don't see it. He's way too young. I do think Ramaswamy, would be very good as a VP. It seems more likely with Trump than DeSantis because he's gone against DeSantis, but I do think he'll go against Trump as well during the debates. We'll have to see. I believe he's already qualified for the debates, but I give him 3% right now. And then Tim Scott I have at 5%, so he's really like, the one guy outside of DeSantis, Trump, going on The View with all those just dumbass women. But Tim Scott did do well. He's a guy, we're going to have to see how he does in the debates. But I do think he could rise because he's a good talker. He's a level-headed dude. And he's someone, that's another candidate that is going to siphon votes off of DeSantis for sure, depending on how long he stays in the race. I have him at 5% right now. And then the top two, I have Ron DeSantis and Trump tied, both at 45% chance. So the reason I have them tied, people are just obsessed with polls and stuff, and they're like, Trump's going to win. Dude, you have to understand something. If the first debate is in August, and we're not even going to have Like the Iowa caucus isn't for months after that. These polls right now mean literally nothing. Literally nothing. And I'm not saying that because I'm a DeSantis supporter. That's just the reality of the situation. I mean, yes, if you're, in a poll, do you want to be leading it? Of course. But I just think right now, you're talking about the first debate is in August, and then there's months before the actual first caucus takes place, and you think these polls mean anything right now? They don't. So I think DeSantis and Trump are tied right now. DeSantis is going to get the establishment support. Trump has a ridiculously loyal base. It'll really be interesting. The first debate, I'm sure Trump's going to go. People are saying he might not show up. You got to go and defend yourself, so I'm sure he'll be there. The other thing is you don't want to give DeSantis the full spotlight and give him center stage, which is what would happen. Normally they put the person that is in first in terms of polling right in the center, which I would imagine would still be Trump by then. So I would say Trump and DeSantis right now. I can't say one has a better chance. If you made me pick, I'd say Trump because he is leading in polls, but it just doesn't matter at this point. So I would say it's still Trump and DeSantis by far. Tim Scott, if he's really good at talking. But again, it's like Scott and DeSantis are just going to split votes between them, and Trump's not going to do that. He has a very loyal base, so it's going to be very hard for whether it's Nikki Haley, DeSantis, Scott, if they're all siphoning votes off of each other, beating Trump is going to be a very tough task. It'd really have to be the entire Republican Party coming against Trump, which is an issue in and of itself because that might cause Trump to run as an independent, which would completely sink the right in 2024. But that is just a little, I don't think that's going to happen, but there definitely is a scenario where, all these candidates leave the race and Trump feels ganged up on, and he's going to say they stole it from me, the establishment Republicans, Mitch McConnell. You know what's going to happen if that happens. We can already predict it. I mean, I'm not saying Trump's going to lose, but if he did, that's probably what would happen, and it would not end well. But I would say still it's just Trump and DeSantis, and it's not going to change because none of these candidates can really do anything until the debate. I mean, the only thing they can do is try and have viral clips. Like if I was a candidate running, I mean, you're trying to get on all those liberal shows and talk to as many liberals as you can because that's how you're going to get your viral clicks. That's what the people want. So either way, we'll have to see what happens. I do think it's DeSantis, Trump, but it's very early. There could be someone that comes up. If there is someone that's, a third dark horse, I would say it's Tim Scott. We'll have to see though. Either way, guys, that is going to do it for this video. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. Link to that's always in the description.